Let's now turn our focus to the AI summit taking place in New Delhi. Our correspondent Thomas Porteous, who's intensively covering the AI Impact Summit at Bharat Mandapam, has spoken to the group Chief Data and AI Officer at Michelin, Dr. Ambika Rajgopal. Let's get across.
Hello, you're joining us once here again on NewsX World. I'm joined by Ambika Rajagopal. She is the Chief Administrative Officer for Artificial Intelligence at the Michelin Group. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, you're here in New Delhi, lots of different conversations going around, whether that comes to AI in health, agriculture, defense. What have you thought of the summit so far, and what do you think of all the developments coming out of it?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful time at the summit. So, in fact, at Michelin we have our AI Center of Excellence, our Data Center of Excellence here in India. So it's really great to have. I was just in a talk with Yoshua Bengio, with we had a panel with Pushmeet Kohli from DeepMind. So really having these voices come and speak to the audience here. I mean, you need to be here to see the tremendous energy. The number of people, the tremendous energy, I think the average age must be like 28, 30, and so I think it's really an opportunity to bring these thoughts, these conversations which are so important around AI for good, around AI for safety, all of these to this country and to this audience.
And what do you think about artificial intelligence becoming a geopolitical global tool now? We have heads of state coming in the next couple of days, possibly some government agreements signed, some global consensuses. What do you think of something like this, which wouldn't have even existed 10 years ago, now is 200,000 people, heads of state, intergovernmental contracts? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think AI is at a really interesting place, of course. But we look at it from enterprises like Michelin, who are in fact present in 130 countries. So we really transverse. Our activities are transverse to countries, to regions, geopolitics, etc. And the role of enterprises like us, to really think about how do we build and deploy AI in a way that is really empowering our workforce in a way that's not just focused on the profit aspects or even but is also focused on the planet aspects, also focused on the people aspects. In fact, what we are looking at is a revolution in the way that we are going to do our everyday jobs. And what does that mean for all of us? Even as a data scientist, so many of my tasks have in fact in the last 4 years undergone a huge change. And then the question becomes, who am I? And so helping our workforce, across the world, really be able to answer these questions, that's really what we are focusing on. And of course, engaging with these conversations in various countries, that's critical.
What about the concerns? Of course, there are numerous concerns, whether that's AI in defense, whether that is, of course, other aspects, environmental things. Do you think they're being addressed correctly here at this summit?
In fact, I'm really glad to hear the kind of conversations that we are seeing, on in terms of, for example, we just had Yoshua Bengio put forward the question, is an open model in terms of, open weights model, is this something that can be misused? And it's something to really think about. And it's really great to see these kind of questions coming up. And for enterprises like us, we already have frameworks like the EU AI Act that already have started to be a guideline, with which we can begin to think about these kind of issues. And from an enterprise's perspective, really, taking on the responsibility to look at the way that we are developing AI, look at the AI that we are actually, buying from our partners, from the perspective of, is it really augmenting humans? What are the principles, values? So at Michelin, for example, we've come up with, a set of values that, three values, in fact, that we believe are the right way to do ethical AI, and we have an entire framework, including, education, sensitization, that we have ongoing to really contribute to this conversation.
And what about having this summit in the developing world? How important is that moving forward? Of course, we've seen it in Western Europe and South Korea before, but this is the first one in the global South. Why is that important for the whole region and of course, India as well?
Yeah, so just as a background, I started as a mathematician and as a data scientist 20 plus years ago, and honestly, I mean, the rate at which, even for somebody who has really watched the evolution, the rate at which the technology has grown has just been mind blowing. And it's a good question to ask: is how did this happen? Very specifically with this technology. Now, in my opinion, my firm belief is that it's because it's one of the most democratically developed technologies that we've had. It's one of our largest democratic, completely inclusive ventures that we have as humanity. Because I don't know whether you may not be aware, but inside the field, so for several years now, the norm has become that if you publish, let's say as a scientist or as a person in a industry research, I come up with a new model. I don't just write it down. I put it into code, make it available for everybody around the world to then pick up and use. And for this, there is no geographical boundary. There is no question of, global north or global south. The contribution has really been from all parts of the world and continues to be from all parts of the world. So for me, I think, continuing this, this open source ethos, this completely democratic ethos of the way AI has grown, that's super critical because it is the reason why we are here today. And of course, bringing these conversations, the more nuanced conversations around the development of AI to places like India, that's part of the effort.
And just very finally, what would be your ideal outcome of this summit? What do you, yourself, your own company, and of course the world, of course, the whole eyes are on this summit. What do you want the outcome to be?
For me, an ideal outcome would be, really concrete steps, initiatives to really build out AI, that is for the social sector, that in fact is, looking at, reaching people who are not really, being reached by AI today. And of course, for enterprises like us, I've had several conversations over the last couple of days, how can we contribute to that? Because we are a significant part of the communities all over the world that we are, and this is, of course, huge opportunities for us to contribute back.
Ambika, thank you so much for taking the time. Pleasure to talk to you here on NewsX as well. Thank you. Well, that's all that we have time for. Of course, we'll continue to bring you all the updates coming out of here at the AI Summit here in the Bharat Mandapam. Thank you very much.
Viewers, stay tuned to NewsX World.